Welcome back to HM and Big E Review Things. Today we are reviewing a movie that came out on Disney Plus, Sneakerella. Sneakerella, a modern retelling of the classic fairy tale Cinderella, featuring
Lexi Underwood and Chosen Jacobs.
Very good.
See?
Yeah.
So if you're watching...
Thank you for watching. Yeah. So what were your overall thoughts? Before we get into spoilers, and maybe we'll kind of run through the story a little bit, what do you think about Sneakerella?
It was an odd choice to me. Blending the Cinderella story with sneaker culture.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure who this was target for. I guess you could say family or kids. Right?
I think it's a family movie, yeah.
But there's choices. Why do sneaker culture? Like you could have...
very popular. These are his shoe boxes. He's very fancy. He owns a lot of shoes. He cares about his shoes a lot.
Yes, but it was a weird... Because you're doing the sneaker culture thing, you're forcing that Cinderella story to kind of to match it. But it's like, I don't know. It was a weird choice to me.
So it's also a musical.
Yes.
So it's a musical. I mean, it's more of a musical than Cinderella was.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. The three things that you're blending together.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for musicals, much more than this guy. I also have a soft spot for Disney. I have a sneaking suspicion I enjoyed this movie a little bit more than you do. I agree with you. I think there are problems when they try to kind of add in too many different things, too many different layers. But I actually think the core idea of kind of flipping the story a little bit, but because Cinderella focuses on the glass slipper, super impractical footwear, with sneaker culture, which is very, hot today, very, popular, and a lot of people are into it, and a lot of young people are into it. Disney's trying to appeal to a younger audience. I actually think the core concept makes sense. Okay, so those are our non-spoiler thoughts. We're going to jump into a recap of kind of the story as much as we can remember. We watched it a few days ago. It's not super memorable, and maybe that's one of the a preview of our score. But so this is your official spoiler warning.
Right.
Okay, what happens in this movie, homie?
Well, there is Ella. L. The main character, played by Chosen Jacobs. Mm-hmm. And it's a Cinderella story. He's down on his luck a little bit. He's lost his parents.
He's lost his mother, and he's forced to live with his stepfather and two stepbrothers. So they're kind of gender flipping it.
That's right.
The story a little bit.
And he is a
stock boy.
Stock boy at a sneaker shop.
His mom's sneaker shop. His mom loves shoes and shoe culture, and so it was her store, and he's a stock boy there because his stepfather, I guess, now runs it. And
that's right, and it's called Laces.
Laces.
And basically, he's kind of a sneakerhead, but he's also like an artist.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes to a shoe drop from this big star basketball player who's releasing these new shoes, and then he doesn't get it, but he meets this girl.
Right.
Kira. And then they have this kind of whirlwind adventure day together, right. And then you find out that she's the daughter of this sneaker mogul that he was lining up for, and so their last name is King. So she's a princess. I thought that's kind of clever. I kind of like stuff like that. Yeah. And then what happens? And then there's a ball. He has to design shoes. This is kind of where it gets, like, there's a ball and he has to attend the ball, but he also has to design shoes and he has to lie about his experience in order to meet the father. There's a bit too many layers that end up kind of going into it.
Make it simple.
Yeah, I think if they kept the story simpler, it would have been better. There's also the sidekick character. I forget her name.
Which I thought was the love interest at first, but she's just the best friend.
She's the best
friend.
So
she's like the mouse.
Her. Yeah. Right. She's the mouse.
Or the birds in Cinderella.
Right. And then he has a chance to, meet the father, Darius King, but it's midnight, and the magic gardener, who is, I guess, the fairy godfather this case, tells him that at midnight he has to leave or his clothes will change back and his car got towed and that kind of stuff. And so he runs away, but he leaves his sneaker that he designed, a one of one.
That's right.
And then she starts a campaign on social media about finding.
It's really odd because they've met before. So why do that? I mean, that's a big, huge logical problem.
Right.
They've met before. They know who they are, and she starts a social media campaign, and I mean, the problem is like
and then all these other people pretend to be the person and bring her fake shoes, but she knows who it is.
Yes, and then in between, there's a story of the two evil stepbrothers ruining his plans.
Right.
And basically, the idea is like the conflict is that he lied about being a sneaker
stock boy.
Yeah, stock boy. He said he was a really sought after, experienced designer, and she's like, I never want to see you again because you lied about that.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me another chance. Intertwined are stylized musicals, which I think some of them work. Some of the songs really work. Some of the songs didn't work so much. But that's a story. And then, of course, at the end, he presents his case. They sing a song.
They have a rap battle.
They have a rap battle.
Yeah.
Some of the musical scoring reminded me of the Hamilton beats.
A lot. There was some parts felt to me like past the line of homage and really a little bit copying.
Yes.
Just
beat for beat.
Yeah, very much just the musical styles and so and then he essentially wins the heart of the father, and then he gets the girl, and they open the store. They keep the shoe store, and
and it's called Elevated.
Oh, I did not. Oh, I didn't.
Yes, because his name's L.
Yes.
So it's a new sneaker store.
I see.
Right.
I see. So that's kind of the run through of the story. I mean, what's your main beef with the movie?
I felt like this movie was a stereotypical introduction to urban black culture. I felt like it was written for people
That's true.
really don't know the culture.
Right.
And here are the stereotypical things that the culture likes. And
right.
I understand that all the actors were black, but it just felt like a little bit too sanitized. It looked like, I just don't know. It just felt very off to me, something about it. And I've seen some other commentary that says the same thing from black reviewers, and they say this is kind of off, So I mean, I don't know if that's a beef, but it is what it is.
So I tend to, I mean, I agree with that. That's a good point. I tend to give it a bit more of a pass because it's a musical. I think I give musicals a little bit more pass because when you go watch a musical, especially when you go watch it in person, when you go in theater, like there's an understanding and an expectation that the audience will kind of give up some believability, that they're not trying to tell a true story. I mean, people are talking and then they'll randomly break out in song, right? And so when you're in person, that there's that kind of agreement that you're kind of watching this show and it's not meant to be real. In a movie, that's a little harder, and a lot of musical movie adaptations kind of falter in this way. Especially you'll see when at that moment of talking, we're going to switch into song. How that transition happens really can make or break a musical adaptation of a movie. And there are some terrible examples, even recently, Dear Evan Hansen, which has wonderful music, but the movie adaptation is just really weird. There's one point where, in that movie, they're just talking at the dinner table, and then he just breaks into song, and the other characters are just kind of sitting there.
But isn't that
watching him?
Most musicals do that?
But this one, I really like it because this one had an elevated kind of reality. When they're singing, they kind of, and they even add kind of some 2D animation kind of to highlight, like, it's this very heightened reality. This is fantasy a little bit when he's singing. When they're singing, this is not them walking down the street singing to each other. This is something kind of...
I like the musical numbers.
Yeah.
It was stylized with graphics. Yep. The dancing was really good. And,
the dancing was fantastic.
Some of the singing was good. Obviously, the actors and the singers are played by different people.
I don't think they are.
Okay, but the lip singing is very bad.
Yes. That's usually a lot of the case with again, musical... movie adaptations, because they always record the audio separately.
That, yeah.
And then when it matches, it's like it because you can't sing like that when you're jumping and dancing. And
I totally understand. So, yeah. It just sounded like a different voice to me.
Yeah, and I had that same thought when I was watching it too. But I think it is them, and I think they're decent singers. I don't think either of them have a lot of experience with movies and singing.
I have no problem with any of the actors.
I actually thought the chemistry between the two main actors was actually pretty good. sometimes, with these younger actors, it's a little questionable, and you've made that point before in some of our reviews. When these inexperienced younger actors, you're kind of taking a big risk. But I thought the two of them did pretty well. I thought the one musical number that I don't really remember, but I remember when I was watching, I was like, oh, this is not good, is when the gardener sang.
Or I didn't like the one with the two brothers, the evil brothers, did their evil number.
Yes, the evil number was not a good, but that's a bad musical number. I thought the gardener, like his voice, apologies, I thought he wasn't very good. I don't think it was a very good song either, but I know.
The first two songs were pretty good.
Yeah.
The Best Ever song was very, very catchy, very pop, and I think, again, the music's, for the most part, fine. The story is Cinderella, so it's not going to be that believable. It's
Cinderella, which is okay, but then they add
too much. I think if you're going to do a movie about love for sneakers, then just do that. An original story.
Yeah.
If you want to say, okay, let's pair it with a musical, that's even fine.
Yeah.
But then let's add the third element of Cinderella. It just falls flat for me.
Yeah, I think if they had told an original story and kind of paid homage, and there were, he does lose the shoe, and that's just kind of one thing. But, hitting the evil stepfather and the evil stepbrothers, and then the magical gardener, and then the midnight, it just ends up being too much. And it kind of, buckles under its own weight a little bit of trying to add this many things on top of he's a shoe designer and there's this whole, there's a sneaker con coming and all this kind of stuff. It just adds on a little too much, and I don't think it can bear it. But as a musical, I thought it was okay. I don't know. Any other thoughts? I thought, visually interesting.
You say it's a musical, but could this really be adapted to a stage performance? I'm not sure. Maybe.
I could see it.
Sure.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, one thing that did stand out to me, I'm not into sneaker culture as much, and I mean, this movie hasn't made me really into it. But when I saw his sneaker designs, I was like, that's
it didn't look that great.
It didn't look that great. I don't know. I don't understand sneaker culture. Maybe it looks amazing.
They really ham-fisted it. They were like, they had lines about sneakers being stories of your life, or trying to explain it to the non-sneaker person. This is why a shoe matters.
And it tells your story.
Right.
And his first shoe was like a mishmash of his neighborhood.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's kind of an ugly shoe. It just has a random patch of a restaurant.
I did want to say that even his best shoe didn't look that. I wouldn't want to wear that.
Yeah, the one at the end, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to wear that.
I didn't think it looked great either.
And so again, weird choices here. But it is...
it's a family movie, so I'm going to grade it a bit more generously, but even then there are problems. I don't know. Any closing thoughts?
No.
What's your final grade on Sneakerella?
I give it a B-.
Oh, that's actually a lot higher than I thought you were going to give it.
Look, I can't be always negative and giving you the lower grades, okay?
This guy was telling me that maybe this is a trash can segment. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Like, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying it. Like, I would never watch it again or anything. But a B-. Okay, that's good.
Looking through the lens of musical,
it's a musical
kids movie,
family movie.
I'd give it a B-.
Right,
okay.
Right. Actually, I think that's probably where I would give it to, a B-. Actually, yeah, B-. I might have actually even skewed a bit lower. I thought you were going to give this a D or something.
No, that's not a D.
I thought it was a very watchable movie. If you want something to watch with your family, it's a movie
that if I like the songs, I just skip to the songs or watch it, like listen to it on Spotify.
Right. But I do think it's a good family movie. B-. I think. Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I never thought you would be...
Ye of little faith.
Yes. No, ye of very, very harsh judgment. Being quite generous here. So that's our thoughts on Sneakerella. Let us know if you've seen Sneakerella. Let us know what you think. Let us know about what you think we think. Are we being... a little generous because it's a musical? Or are we being, not harsh enough? Because there are some things that maybe it didn't really tackle or address properly. But those are our thoughts, B-. And until next episode, keep watching things.
And please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.